Welcome to Be the Light with me, Sarah. I'm so excited to have y'all. Thank you again so much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all's support and love and encouragement. I've gotten all of responses since I aired my intent video on Tuesday. And honestly, I love all the coaching that I received back so far. It's been really nice. After I reviewed the video, so this is me just in general. I get really excited about something and I felt like I had to air my idea that day. I was like, oh my God, if I wait another second, someone's gonna like pick up my idea and then it's no longer gonna be mine and that's gonna be the end of it. I can't do it anymore. So like I literally told my boyfriend Spencer, I was like, you gotta help me out. Like I need to air this today. And so obviously me being excited, speaking way too quickly, that definitely had a part. You saw that. And then trying to find like, I guess, an area to record in. We had some, our roommate had some business going on upstairs in our apartment. So I was like, we can go outside, and we also live like less than 10 minutes from the airport. So y'all got to hear all the airplanes that are still flying around and the cars driving by. And then I had a dear friend reach out and he was like, dude, if you're going to be on YouTube, flip that, camera angle to horizontal, not vertical. And I was like, got it, So today we are in the quiet area of my home. That's quiet because I have a roommate that's currently outside doing business on our patio. Thank you, Kenny. And my boyfriend's in our bedroom just taking care of business in there so I can have this outside space. So yeah, they're being really accommodating and nice. But let's break the ice here and just give a quick recap as to what this whole thing is, why you're watching. It's essentially going to be a virtual diary of mine that I'm titling Be the Light. That's just because I chose that name because I have it written on my intent bracelets. So these bracelets I came across on Instagram one day. I thought they were really cool. All they are like little washers and you can write whatever words that are inspiring to you that keep you motivated. And that's one phrase that I noticed that I have written in quite a few places. I open my journal, I see Be the Light. On my wrist, I see Be the Light. I go to my own Instagram page and it's right there. And just because I guess maybe I was so used to seeing it so often, it never really registered that I try to live my life that way. So when it came down to like, hey, what do I call this channel? It just made sense. So hopefully, like I haven't patented it yet, but I need to, and hopefully it's not taken, fingers crossed, But yeah, the whole thing behind these videos is just gonna be my life lessons, what I'm doing with my life, how I'm growing and learning. Essentially, I'm gonna air a video every Monday, and that video will just kind of state to you guys like what my goals are for the week, what I intend to do, what are my plans. And then on Friday, I thought it'd be great to sign back on and kind of recap, did I accomplish what I set out to do? Were my intentions good? What lessons did I learn along the way? Again, I can talk about anything freely here, which is nice, So I'm really excited just to share my life with you and what I learned along the way. Let's see, so the biggest takeaway is for you guys, I hope, is to inspire, motivate, make you laugh, maybe barf some butterflies. I'm not here trying to preach to anyone. I'm not here trying to teach you something. It's just like, hey, this is what I learned. If you can take a nugget of gold away from a lesson that I went through, yay. If you want to try something that I'm trying, do it. Or if you just want to come on here and laugh at whatever I'm wearing today, that's great too. Just as long as you share the video with somebody else so they can laugh also. But yeah, it's just whatever you want to take away from it. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I just enjoy being able to, see you guys and communicate with you guys, leave comments so I can go back and look at them. Something that's interesting is when I posted my video on Tuesday, my roommate asked me a few hours later, how many views do you have? And I was curious, and almost immediately, my boyfriend Spencer was like, that doesn't matter. He's like, your goal right now is just to be, stay with what you intend to do, which is post Monday and Friday, and share that. He's like, it doesn't matter how many viewers you have, just focus on what your specific goal is. So honestly, I didn't know how many views I had until yesterday. I was speaking with another friend and he's like, oh, you got like a little over 100. And I was like, oh, wow, that's impressive. So thank you guys. I appreciate the love. All right, so today is our first video. Like I said, this is my apartment. I wish I could show you more, but it's a little bit messy. I do have a husky and I haven't vacuumed. And it's funny because when I cook like in the kitchen, I always tell the boys, or the guys I should say, I always tell the guys like, hey, clean up after your mess. And they've gotten really good at doing that. And I lately have been the one slacking. So my kitchen's a little bit messy. We're not gonna go there. But just a little quick intro as to who I am. If you don't know me already, I am Sarah. Currently I'm on the entrepreneur route. I had never envisioned myself going down this way a long time ago. If you were to ask me a few years ago, that's not what I imagined. I actually, like I mentioned on Tuesday in my video, I packed up my life in Texas, had a really, really comfortable career going. I was like teaching, coaching, and then I met my boyfriend, left everything that I, knew behind for something I had no idea that I needed. And ever since then, we've just been traveling. That's what he does for work. He travels quite a bit. And so I've been able to see new things, meet new people, and it's just been really rewarding and awesome. So yeah, now I'm here. When your boyfriend travels as much as he does, it's really difficult to find a job that keeps you excited. I would start, at one point I was even working with him and I was like, just what do I got to do to be with you, or just to be able to move around with you as much. That wasn't for me. Although impressively, I did sell like 13, 14 accounts, which I don't even know how I did. And just, so if you don't know, he does direct sales. And so that meant I was knocking on people's doors and selling these like home security systems. How I did it, I don't know. How I even made it as long as I did, I don't know. But I'm always like, good job, So yeah, then I really did a lot of soul searching after that, after I quit doing that. And I was like, okay, what's next? And it was last summer that I realized that I was really passionate about cooking and opening this restaurant. I literally, for almost a year, wrote in a journal, like things that I do every day to help me like narrow it down. Like, what am I supposed to do next? And that's when I came across cooking. And I still am very passionate about that. And I still intend on opening a restaurant within the next, 7 to 10 years. But that's not all I want to be known for. So it has helped a lot though, pay off some debt that I still have. Restaurant business, bar business has been fun to work in for sure. And after, we left Ohio. Ohio is when I got my first restaurant job, and they were the best people. Oh my God, Tomatillo's in Columbus or Worthington, Ohio. You guys are the best. They took me in, never done it before. They threw me behind the bar. I was bartending. I waitressed for a little bit. I learned a lot. And I came back here to our home in Tempe, Arizona, and got a job at Culinary Dropout right around the corner from where we live. And that is also an amazing place to work and learn and grow. Talk about like two different, restaurant capacity, like the size of it. Like I went from, this smaller business in Ohio to Culinary Dropout here in Arizona. There's a few in Texas also, but like these are massive restaurants that literally serve over 1 million people in a month. So yeah, the pace that I was learning at was a lot quicker. But it was really inspiring to, work with these people and see how they run it. And my goal in the restaurant is to just kind of work every position that there is. So, in the future, when I am hiring my employees, I can be like, hey, I know exactly what I'm looking for with these people. So anyway, yeah, that's me. Then I started Beachbody, and I've actually been a Beachbody member since I was like 19. I love Beachbody. I still use it. I actually did Yoga X this morning with Tony Orton. He's one of my favorite people. After I run during the week, I usually hit abs with Tony or Autumn or Joel Freeman. I just have my favorite instructors that I like to work out with. So I was doing that. But between like the restaurant and the Beachbody, there came a point where I started fizzling off. Like, I don't want to keep up with it. I felt like I had to post videos about cooking, or I had to post videos about working out with Beachbody, and I didn't like the way that felt because I felt very limited. Like, I don't want people to know me for just those things. There's so much more to who I am and what I want to do with my life. So I stopped doing it as much. And honestly, I've just kind of laid low for the past few months. I've, making my posts on social media, but they're mainly just about me. And every now and again, you see me throw in a Beachbody thing or something like that. Until I think last week I finished I wrapped up, I was reading Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and subconsciously there was something in there about identity that resonated with me. And a few days later, all these light bulbs started going off. I'm like, dude, that's it, identity. Like, what do I want people to identify me with? And that's how we ended up here today. Yeah, that idea, I kept Spencer up a little past his bedtime. I think I put him asleep with all these ideas. I definitely didn't get any sleep Monday night earlier in the week, and just because my brain was like, I can talk about this. I can talk about anything, and that's what makes this also exciting. So yay! Things that I enjoy doing. I like to be known as an athlete, triathlete. I love working out. I signed up for my first Ironman later this year. Yay! Hopefully that can still be a thing. If not, they do postpone it. That'll work out also. I'll still be committed to doing that. Let's see, I am bilingual. Si hablo español. What was it, 2 days ago or yesterday was Selena's birthday, Selena Quintanilla. And she was somebody that I loved and idolized as a little girl. And so, I played her songs all day yesterday in the car and in the shower, and yeah, I will throw in some Spanish words here and there, especially like I noticed when I was going live on Facebook to make like tortillas one day, and like my uncles in Mexico were watching and cousins and stuff, and they were like, speak in Spanish so we can understand you. And honestly, my accent is not that bad. I can speak pretty well. So don't let me fool you if you see me playing around with it. Leave a comment and be like, Sarah, get rid of the silly accent. Let's hear your Spanish. I'll be like, okay. Porque sí lo puedo hablar muy bien cuando quiero y necesito. And let's see here. I get into a little bit of trouble because I'm a little curious. So Spencer and I have like this term, Curious George, that we toss around here and there. He's the same way. But it's awesome that we are curious about life that way and just want to learn more all the time. But my personality in general is fiery. If you know me, I feel like that's any Latina, like we all are we have this like fire in us that like, hey, you rub us the wrong way, you might see us, come out a little bit. I try to tame mine as best that I can. But it's definitely in there. I'm very energetic. My mom says when I was born, I took all of her energy. And so that's probably why I don't mind running as much as I run or working out as much as I do. It's just, I'm almost like a child, you got to make me work out so that I, won't be peeving you all day. Like, come on, let's do something, because I love to move, like I just have to. And then I'm just very passionate about the things that I love, and the main thing that I love in life is love. Spencer knows this first is really well about me is I just love to love people, and I love receiving love. We actually just read the book The 5 Love Languages, and we discovered our love languages, and it was very apparent as to which languages were my primary love languages, because during those chapters I would die laughing, like, oh my God, I could have written the book, this guy knows me to a T. And just in case you're curious, my 2 top love languages, number 1 was gift receiving. I love to give gifts to people, big or small, monetary or non-monetary. Food is something that I consider a gift. If I make something for you, it's me giving you a gift. And then quality time. Oh my God, quality time. I can't, those two together. If you come home with roses and then you spend an hour with me, I'm like, you're the best lover of all time. So yeah, that's me. Okay, so like I said, I'm not here to preach to anyone. This week, something that I learned and that I wanted to speak about just a little bit is identity, and why I'm so excited about that. So I looked it up. Thanks to Tony Robbins. He actually had a chapter on it, like I said. And he says that identity are the beliefs that we use to define our own individuality that make us unique, which means we good, bad, and different from other individuals. And then through our identity, we create a sense of certainty about who we are and the boundaries and limits that we live within. So for example, in his book, he says, you know, if you tell a kid, let's say we tell a fifth grader, hey, you passed the gifted and talented. You are now defined or identified as gifted and talented. Whether that kid is legitimately gifted and talented, he or she will perform at a level that is at that gifted and talented level because people are telling him that he or she is that thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, that just goes back to why I, you know, wasn't wanting to post so much about Beachbody, why I didn't just want to post cooking videos, because that's not who I wanted to be identified with, if that makes sense. So the kind of person other people perceive you to be controls their responses of you. I believe that greatly. Unintentionally, my brother actually gave me a perfect example of this yesterday. So I have a great friend, shout out Christine Martinez. She is an amazing, Latin, how do you say it? Pastry, or she has it written on her box. I just can't ever say the word. She's a baker. She's a great baker. And I admire her very much for her work. And so on her Instagram pages, like, she posts the most devouring, like, pastries, conchas specifically, that you have ever seen. So if you follow me on Facebook, you saw me post about it yesterday. I'm like, dude, if I can't try these, like, I literally heart them immediately because I'm like, oh my God, they look so good. But she's in San Antonio, I'm in Tempe. So I called my grandmother one day and I said, hey, like, here's a menu, look it over. Anyway, long story short, my brother ends up picking up these treats that I ordered for my grandmother and uncle to enjoy. And he, goes and takes them over to them. And I call him to see, how they're enjoying them. And he puts me on speaker and immediately says, hey, you're on speaker. Don't say anything mean. And I didn't say anything mean, but when he made that comment, I made a mental note of it because I thought, oh my God, there is that identity thing. So if you've known me growing up, there was a point in my life where I was not dealing with my emotions very well. I was in a very unhealthy relationship for quite a long time. And because of everything that I was dealing with and not knowing how to express myself in a positive way or in a way that wasn't aggressive, he eventually labeled me in his phone. So when I would call him, instead of it saying sister or Sarah, it said angry, because when he was around me, that was the kind of energy and attitude that I had. I was very irritated. I was very aggressive. Until this day, even though my physical identity has changed, he still relates or thinks of me in that way, even if I'm not that person anymore, which is crazy that, like, all these years have passed and I'm still in his mind that person. So I could behave that way if I wanted to meet the standard, the identity that he has of me in his mind, or I could continue to work hard and be consistent with who I'm trying to be so that hopefully one day he sees me as who I am now and not who that person is. So AJ, I'm sorry. I was so angry for so long, but I'm doing my best to really make a difference in my own life so that, y'all don't have that identity of me like that. And something that I was thinking about aside from that is it takes a lot of courage and consistency to really be whoever you want to be, just because I was that negative Nancy in the past does not necessarily mean that I have to stay that way. You're the narrator of your own life. You have the power to at any moment change who you are, your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors, and sometimes people, are like, oh, what's the point? You already see me as a negative, like a bitch. Well, I might as well just stay a bitch. And it's like, no, if you have the courage and the balls to change, dude. Even if people don't refuse to see you in that light right away, don't give up. There is going to be a time, if you're consistent enough, that they will. And I think that moment is going to be the most rewarding. And I'm excited for my family to see that, you know, and me, unfortunately, I live in Arizona and most of them live in Texas, so they don't get to interact with me daily. I don't speak to them all daily, maybe, you know, once or twice a week, but that's not enough for them to really, you know, get to know who I am. So that's another reason I'm excited about these videos, is they can kind of like keep up with me in a better way. So yeah, so along with that, while I was reading Tony Robbins, he had this chapter on, or he had section really about code of conduct. And what code of conduct is essentially is, I made this last night, isn't it cute? Code of conduct is essentially just like words that, or adjectives that help you live your life the way you want to live it. So the goal is to sit down and write anywhere between 7 and 10 words that you want to identify yourself with. And then those words, you create a sentence with, oh, this is gonna be backwards, sorry guys. I'll post a picture of it at the end. But those words, you create a sentence so that you know you've achieved your code of conduct for the day, so that, to keep you in line with being who you wanna be. So for example, you're gonna see on my board, happy. So this I write in my gratitude journal, the first 3 actually. There's a line in my gratitude journal that says, I am happy, positive, and forgiving, because that's who I want to be. So I know when I'm happy, I know I'm happy when I smile. I know I'm positive when I am looking forward to something, especially right now with like this whole coronavirus thing. Like there's a lot of news that I refuse to listen to just because I'm trying to keep like a positive mindset about it, you know. Forgiving, there's, you know, disagreements that I've gotten into. Did I hold a grudge? Did I let it go? Did I apologize? You know I'm forgiving when I apologize. Generous. Yesterday I got to mark that one off the list. Yes, I was generous today. I sent treats over to my family. That made me feel really good. So yeah, just like sentences to help you know that you're keeping in line with who you're trying to be. And then in Tony Robbins' book, I'm quoting him quite a bit today because that's the book that I just finished. So he had this awesome quote that said, you can preach a better sermon with your life than with your lips. So yeah, I know a lot of people who will send me like Bible verses and stuff daily. And you know, I appreciate it, but honestly, it's not about, you know, just because you send me all the Bible verses doesn't mean you're the most like perfect person out there. You know, it's like, okay, are you not just like talking the talk, but are you walking the walk as well? So those are the people that I'm like, dude, you got it. You know, like you sent me the Bible verse and then you did something recently that like relates to what you were trying to tell me earlier. You know, are you trying to live in line with what you're trying to preach to other people? I hate preachers, to be honest. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to preach to you. This is just the lessons that I learned this week. And the only reason I talked about identity today is because that's what brought me here. Like identity is huge. This is what I want to be known for. Just sharing my life with you guys, the lessons that I learned. So yay. All right. Well, I'm going to start wrapping this up soon because I don't want to keep y'all here forever. We are gonna end with some food for thought. And all that means literally is I'm gonna give you a recipe, because y'all know I love to cook, and I want you to think about it, and if it sounds yummy, we're gonna do it. So the recipe that I'm gonna post at the end of the video is one that I found on Food Network. It's mug chicken pot pie. I love chicken pot pie. Not enough restaurants make chicken pot pie. I think Cracker Barrel makes it like on Wednesdays, you know. It's not enough. I don't even think there's a Cracker Barrel here in Arizona. But like, dude, chicken pot pie is bomb. And honestly, when I found this recipe, there was like this lady that commented on the reviews and she says, this is not chicken pot pie. I'm from the South, you know, this is just filling with a crust. And I'm like, that's good enough. That's all I need. A lot of the recipes that I share with you guys are gonna be really short and simple. As much as I love to cook, I don't like to spend too much time in the kitchen either. Anything that's like 30 minutes, maybe an hour tops, that's my play zone. If it takes me, I made a lasagna a couple weeks ago. It was delicious, absolutely delicious, but that shit took like 3 hours. Like, I don't got time to be in the kitchen that long, you know? Like, it takes patience. Something I'm working on. I don't have a lot of patience either. So like, do I want to be in there? Like, I'm getting hungry. Like, I'm a snacker while I cook. I'm cooking and I'm eating something on the side because I can't freaking wait, dude. So yeah, I will post the mug chicken pot pie recipe at the end. But yeah, that's a wrap on today's Life with Sarah. I hope everyone goes into the weekend with something, with a goal in mind, or maybe you have an activity that you're trying to cross off your list. Whatever it is, I hope you get to it and have fun doing it. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I will see you Monday. Thank you for tuning in. All my love to you. Bye.